Hi, so I'm here with Jan, who's the live ops manager for Creative Assembly on the latest project now, Total War Arena. Hi Jan, thanks very much for your time today.
Thanks for coming.
So just a quick start off, Total War Arena, this is a multiplayer sort of arena battle, 10v10. Can you just tell us a little bit more about the title itself?
Yes, sure. So it's obviously Total War, but we've totally zoomed in on the multiplayer side of things, as you said. It's multiplayer only, 10 versus 10 team battle game. Each player controls 3 units and a commander, and with these 3 units, these 10 players will fight against other 10, and it's really about playing together with a good strategy to overcome your opponents and then to capture the enemy's base or to crush them.
Yeah.
Under your feet.
I was going to say, having a look through the list of the commanders, like for the first time we got Leonardis actually involved, which when I went to have a quick go in the booth, then the amount of kick-off over who actually was going to play as Leonardis was just insane. It seems to be like a really character favourite. How many commanders have you got in total, and have you got any more that, because it's in beta, isn't it, at the moment?
Yes.
Have you got any more that are coming up in the works for in later patches?
Yeah, so at the moment we have 7 commanders. That's 3 Greek commanders, 3 Roman commanders, and 1 barbarian commander that we just introduced yesterday.
Right.
And we have obviously more commanders in the works, so the barbarians are just bare bones, 1 commander, only the early tiers at the moment. That's going to be expanded, but we're also looking at adding more commanders to the Romans and the Greeks, and then in the further future we're going to look at adding additional factions as well.
Right, superb, because I was having a quick play again, being part of the beta. When you're actually working through the game, it feels as though it's been really catered for the individual player, yet it's working so well team bonding without you even realising that you're part of a team. How have you managed to do this, coming from strictly like a single player experience of Total War, been able to just blend it so well and so perfect into a multiplayer experience?
Well, obviously, as Total War has always been predominantly single player in the past, but we had the Avatar campaign multiplayer mode in Shogun 2, which is very popular, and that really got us thinking, let's do something that's completely multiplayer. And from that, we started developing these different game modes that we could do. We ended up with 10 versus 10, 3 versus 3, because like you said, in a 10 versus 10 game, you can play a bit on your own, but you're part of a team. You can still overview the team, you can understand what's going on. It's not too much to handle, but at the same time, if you're new or if you are having a bad day, your bad performance isn't going to bring down the team, and people are not going to shout abuse at you because it's not so apparent, like, it's his fault, we lost, right? In many other games, it's very toxic. Players start really shouting at each other, and that's something we wanted to avoid. And additionally, what we did is, for the multiplayer experience, we really did a lot of work on our battle engine and obviously the multiplayer engine. The game is so much more responsive. The units, they are fast, they're quick, they respond immediately to what you tell them to do. It's not just a game of strategy anymore, it's also become a game of skill, where you can really micro your units. If you put them in the right position, strike at the right time with the use of the right order and boosters, then you can really smash into the enemy and overcome them, even if they have stronger troops. And that's something that really, I think, caters to the multiplayer experience very much.
Yeah, very much so, because you do have to work very well as part of a team.
Yeah.
I found myself as the sort of the survivalist, so to speak, when I was playing through, because in my field of experience with Total War, I sit back and take time, and this one forces you to try and quite quickly on your feet. But at the same time, it feels like it's just a normal Total War experience, so it's handled it really well. This one is obviously free to play.
Yes.
So in relation towards I suppose it's going to have microtransactions coming through. How will this sort of impact the gameplay? Is this going to be to get sort of a quicker rundown of the troops, or is it going to be for new armor? How is this going to pan out in the future?
So basically, our monetization model, I think we can say, is rather soft. It's not just cosmetics. You can also buy increased progression speed for people with lots of money and very little time. But you can't just buy yourself into a high tier battle. In some other games, you can just buy a high tier unit, end up in a tier 8 battle and die because you don't know how to play that. So that's not possible for us. You still need to play to progress with your commander, because the commanders lock kind of what units you can use. There are also premium units that you can buy and use in battle, but they are not in any way stronger than the free-to-play units. In many cases, they're actually weaker, but more specialized. So they will offer something in terms of gameplay that you wouldn't have otherwise access to. Good example is the Romans. So the Romans historically were very heavy infantry based. They didn't have many archers or cavalry, and they generally hired those through mercenaries that they got, auxiliary troops. And that's kind of what we did with the Romans. The Roman tech tree is all about heavy infantry, and a bit of cavalry, a bit of javelins. But if you really want to go for cavalry and archers and add that to your mix, you can purchase that as a premium unit. Or you might just team up with a Greek or barbarian player who have that for free in their roster, and it's probably even more efficient. But but it just means, you need to make the team play, you need to work together. Whereas if you just want to bring it all together in your own squad, then yes, you have to pay a bit. And then we have cosmetic items. We have colors that you can buy to paint your units, and we've just introduced cosmetic items, so you can have like a cosmetic helmet that you can replace your like stats bringing helmet with, and a shield, and we're going to add more of these. So these are really like the beginnings of that, and with us being a closed beta, we're very much in touch with the community, more so than in any other Total War game that we've made. This being a live service, it's not just a product on a box, it's something that we make for the players, and we want to run the service for a long time. So in everything we do, we're very close to the player feedback. We interact with them a lot on the forums, and with our monetization, it's the same. We heard from the players in our alpha stage. We want more customization options. We're willing to pay for it. They just told us that pretty openly. We were like, okay, cool, let's do that, and they're happy.
You have been working really well with the community, because one of the other things I know about as well is the bonuses if you've already had another Total War game as well. So that's something that people who have been supporting you and helping you out have said, do we get anything obviously for supporting you anyway?
Yes.
And I see that you've actually give them quite a lot of free stuff just for actually playing the Total War experience.
So everybody who played in the Total War Alpha is going to get a special item. Everybody who owns Rome 2 Total War will get special items as well. We're dishing them out over time in the near-ish future. Also all the players who played in the Alpha, they can keep their progress. So from now on, there are no more resets in the game. If you join the game now into open beta, you will be able to continue playing. You will never lose your progress, no more wipes. And I think that's something that they really appreciate as well. That they kind of get a head start for having given us all that feedback and put up with a few bugs that we had, obviously. That's
brilliant. So obviously this, like you were saying, it's in beta at the moment. Have you got a sort of a live launch for an actual release?
We're going to have the open beta release sometime next year. And again, here we are very much listening to our players. How much do they feel is ready, and obviously how much do we feel is ready? It's scheduled for next year. The exact date is really not known yet.
Right, okay. And obviously when it comes to launch with the open beta, how many sort of maps are we looking at the moment to play with?
So at the moment we have 5 maps. Some of them are inspired by historical battles. So we've got Thermopylae, the 300, Leonidas at his best. And we've got the Battle of Marathon, where one of our commanders, Miltiades, really shined. And then we have a Battle of Salernum, which is kind of a city with fields with forest maps. A very interesting map. We introduced recently Germania. It's a forest map, vaguely inspired by Germanicus's campaign of revenge and bloodshed through the German forests. And yesterday with closed beta we introduced a new map called Rubicon, obviously inspired by Caesar's crossing of the Rubicon. And that is, so it's a very interesting map, very open, with a river in the middle. And the two factions start up really close to each other. Two teams start really close to each other, right across the river. And it's one of those maps where you get into the action right away, but that actually makes it quite of a complex map as well, because it's so open. You really need to cover your flanks, which it's easy to forget in the heat of battle.
Yeah, very much so. Well, that's brilliant. So thank you very much for covering the Total War game with us today. Been very much appreciated. I'll leave you to it now.
All right, well, thanks for coming. I hope you enjoyed, and you can sign up for the beta right now at playarena.totalwar.com.
And we'll have the link below for you to see now.
Thanks.
Thank you very much for your time.